welcome back to Mind the Microsoft Gap. I'm Chris.
And I'm Nick. Today we're talking about something we both work in, day out, which is mobile device management, MDM, and specifically Microsoft Intune.
Yeah, so from hybrid work to zero-touch provisioning, Intune's playing like a critical role in how organizations manage device security and like efficiently manage those devices. We'll be unpacking some of the like strategic drivers, the technical models, and some of the challenges we've seen in real-world deployments.
We shall.
Mm.
Let's start with the big picture, Chris. So why are so many organizations making the switch from platforms, legacy platforms like
Mm.
SCCM and MobileIron into Microsoft Intune?
I think it follows quite closely like the cloud first posture that a lot of organizations are starting to adopt, or even a hybrid approach. Some of the features that it offers as well is they're a bit more comprehensive, a bit more geared towards, like hybrid working, remote working, that kind of thing, and allows you to really get the levels of security and monitoring that are required in this day and age. That and cost as well. So
Yeah.
a, a lot of these things are add-ons or additional services that people are paying for, but if they're using Microsoft 365 with a certain license, Intune's already included in a lot of that. So I think that's been quite a driver for some organizations to say, hang on, we're actually paying technically for this service as well. Why not adopt it and start using it instead of XYZ legacy that we've been used to using for 20, maybe not 20 years, but
Yeah.
the last 5-10 years or so.
Yeah, there's a few strategic drivers behind it, aren't there? Like
Mm.
you say, you've got um, um, hybrid working, but with these legacy platforms, you might not necessarily be able to have um, bring your own devices,
Hmm.
and ensuring that that's done in a secure manner as well.
Yeah, yeah,
You've got so many people want to be able to access um, email or Teams from their personal devices now, and
mhm.
Intune gives you the ability to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And with like stuff like zero touch provisioning as well, there's a shift away from IT teams like completely managing the entire process and presenting you with a gold imaged company laptop um, that they've made and had shipped, or you collect it from your local IT office, to getting a delivery of a laptop out of the box and it being ready, and you, like the user, not building it as we would be used to saying building it,
Yeah,
but just going through and signing in, and that that process through Autopilot, for example, that's going to put this into the corporate infrastructure straight away from the moment you receive it, without the IT team having actual hands on it necessarily. And the same, like you
yeah,
mentioned, with mobiles as well. With so many people now, it's commonplace to have your work stuff on your personal phone.
yep,
Whereas before that was a big security risk, and there was not really a lot around it to protect it, with people using things like Apple email, Apple Mail app instead of Outlook, and the built-in Android app. Um, since they've kind of been updated a bit to play nicely with these tools, but having that ability to control that side of it as well, to say actually you can use your own device, we're going to create a containered app or profile on your device just for our stuff, so we can manage it, as being a big kind of swing, rather than you've got your laptop, your phone, the company laptop, the company phone, and you're like, why have I got 6 devices? you know
yeah, yeah, definitely. So let's talk about the device enrollment while we're on that subject. Um, do you have a preferred approach for managing personal versus corporate devices? Because there's quite a big difference, really, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's a balance between. I mean, no one wants your company to take over your personal phone, right? Like that's the usual
Exactly.
pushback that we see is
Yeah,
I don't want HR looking at my text messages to my mum,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
and it's kind of getting past that understanding that that's not really what it does at all.
I know.
But yeah, I think using BYOD and having personal devices enroll, using you know the work profile for Android especially is the
Yeah,
usual approach. And then having something like app protection policies in place for iOS, for Android on top of that allows you to kind of control the flow of corporate data in and out of these apps and
yeah,
these profiles. So I think there's so many different approaches that you can take to enrolling a lot of these phones.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and obviously we're already talking in terms of Intune really today. That's our main focus, but even that gives you loads of different options, right? Like enrolling through the company portal, uh, enrolling through something like Apple Business Manager,
yeah.
enrolling
So
through
zero touch
yeah,
enrollment, that would be.
yeah.
Yeah,
Another example of zero touch enrollment. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
So having iPhones shipped out, they're already in Apple Business Manager. They pass them automatically through to Intune. It builds, it installs the apps. So that's definitely the preferred approach for corporate devices. I think is have them in uh,
yes, yeah,
the
yeah,
most amount of management possible. So
yeah,
Samsung Knox, for example, and Intune, Apple
yeah,
Business Manager and Intune, and have all the protection around it. And then, yeah, for personal devices, either target the app specifically that you want them to use, or enroll them as a bring your own device. I think. Would you agree
yeah.
with that? Is
So yeah. I would. Yeah,
mm,
I was going to say let's stick to that topic and expand on that slightly. So zero touch. There's zero touch for Windows devices, and that can be uh, enabled by using Windows Autopilot. You've got, as you said, Apple Business Manager, so for iOS devices, iPad OS, and then Samsung Knox. You've got some other platforms as well, like Zebra for their devices, and
mhm.
covering those Android. Yeah, as you said, that's all designed around corporate devices,
Yeah.
and quite often, um, when when companies or organizations purchase those devices, the supplier can either provide them with like hardware hash IDs, or actually have an account into their platform and upload all those devices straight into Apple Business Manager as an example,
Hmm.
or straight into Autopilot. And those devices can literally be shipped out to end users, can't they?
Hmm.
And as soon as they're connected to the internet and they've got access to the Intune service, they can start the enrollment process themselves.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah.
no need for this uh, legacy, like you say, gold build. You're
Yeah.
buying 500 new laptops. You have to get them all in, unbox them, line them up on a rack, plug them in, using
Oh yeah.
SCCM or Ghost to image them. It's not the modern workplace, is it at all?
No, no, that's it. Maxing out the the server, trying to build four devices at
Yeah,
once, and all that kind of
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Walking away, setting off an office of or a classroom in a college of 30 devices,
Hmm.
and coming back in 3 days to see if it's crashed out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah, do you want to talk around? I've spoken there about corporate devices. So
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about how people or how IT admins can enroll personal devices, and then ensure they're protected as well, or their
Hmm.
corporate data is protected.
Yeah. So, as I briefly touched on before, I think the usual approach is using the company portal, right? And setting up an enrollment route where you say, right, you can download the company portal app, you sign in, and then it's going to create this work profile for you. Talking on the Android side here, obviously.
Yeah. And just to say, that company portal is a Microsoft Intune app, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they like to flip the name of it sometimes. I think for a while it was no, you have to download the Intune app, and then it was. But at the moment, yeah, company portal, and I think it's still the same for Apple, right? Like it's just company portal.
Company portal.
And that then gives the management tool Intune. It gives it the ability to control the apps that you install via the company portal. So all of the corporate apps. So you can have two sets of Outlook installed, or Microsoft Authenticator, or Microsoft Word, for example, the corporate version in the corporate container, and then your personal version, and then your corporation is only going to have not necessarily access but control over the data that you have in the work apps or profile. So they can remove that data if your phone is stolen or lost or compromised. They can require your phone to be at a certain level of security. So you have to have a fingerprint, have to have a PIN, has to be up to date. The kind of basic thing. So that's the kind of
So you're talking about compliance there, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll come on to that in a minute, actually, in a bit more detail. That's a good talking point.
Yeah, and then using things like app protection policies to govern the data, really, is to say, right, I've sent you this corporate email. It's got sensitive information in it. Let's just make sure you can't copy that and paste it into your Gmail account. Because sometimes people will find the path of least resistance to work.
Of course,
which is good for them.
Yep.
But can be troublesome for security and data governance. So putting that in place to say, no, you can't move data out of the corporate environment is quite an important one. And, you can put all different sorts of controls in there to say within the corporate stuff, you can't access this. You can't use these apps. You can only use these approved apps, or you can have it a bit more open and say you can use anything in the store. It's fine. It depends on the business use, basically. So that's usually what we see in terms of BYOD devices.
Yeah. And so you mentioned app protection there. App protection policies aren't they're I would explain them as a way to allow end users to use their personal device to access corporate data without any kind of enrollment into Intune. It's literally, if you install Outlook on your personal device and you log in with your corporate email account, it then will pull down an app protection policy and ensure that app protection policy is being applied until it allows you access to see that data. And it allows people, to have that complete, I want to say autonomy, but might not be the best word, but it keeps it completely separate, doesn't it, from the work environment. So there's no worry of any kind of control from your business of your device. Whereas if you enroll your device into Intune voluntarily with the company portal, there are some functionalities that the Intune administrators can do to your device. It's still very restricted because it's a personal device, but it's just to give a little bit of clarity of the differences there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have to cover that other eventuality as well. If someone doesn't, like you say, enroll through the company portal, and it's just like, I've just got Outlook, I'm just going to sign in.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Can't really just block.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to sign into Outlook. Well, I can't get emails. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And that, do you want to give us an example or a way that somebody did just install Outlook and logged in, how would you ensure that an app protection policy is being applied there to access the corporate data?
So yeah, you could check from the Intune side to see if that protection policy is being applied to that user, to that device. So that's kind of to do a bit more with like the reporting side that we
Yeah,
get, and then you could test it as well, right? With not that the end user necessarily would themselves, but you could say, right, try and move data out of this app, try and
yeah, yeah,
move
yeah, yeah,
data into it. Let's
yeah,
just double check. So a bit of a testing phase there, but yeah, usually making sure that that's applying and it's working correctly
yeah.
from the reporting side. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you can also tie them into Entra ID, can't you, with conditional
Hmm.
access policies? So,
Yeah.
we touched um, on the identity episode. So if you want more information or want to listen to our
Hmm.
identity episode, we've done we've had a chat about that as well. But we can use conditional access policies in Entra ID to be a gatekeeper to make sure that those policies are being applied um, before allowing that user in. And you and I have both seen that work fantastically on a
Yeah.
big MDM project, but also cause a little bit of chaos
Yeah.
when Microsoft was, for whatever reason, just not playing ball. Um,
Mm.
so there are some challenges with that as well. It's a very complex and kind of flow, isn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, security is in general, right? It takes a while to get it exactly how your particular business wants it. Obviously, Microsoft wants it locks down 100%, really tight.
Yeah,
Most businesses
zero trust.
kind of want that exactly, yeah, but the users want the absolute opposite. Some businesses are like, well, no, we just want our users to be able to work as hassle free as possible. But then it's
Yeah,
finding that balance in between to say, right, you need to plug these gaps and make sure you've got some fail safes in here, like you mentioned with conditional access policies, blocking countries that people aren't going to be in.
yeah,
If you're a
yeah, yeah,
small company of 30 people in the southwest of England, you can probably discount a lot of the world in a kind of block scenario. So if someone's
yeah,
phone gets nicked, ends up abroad, at least it's completely blocked.
yeah. And it stops you working while you're on holiday.
Yes, that's the definite benefit of it. Sitting in the Bahamas. Oh, I can't log into Outlook. Wonder why.
Exactly. Yeah. um, cool. Right. We'll move on, shall we?
Mhm.
So how are we doing for time? We're 18 minutes in. Um, just looking ahead at the future, are there any trends that you're seeing in the MDM space at the moment?
Um, I think it's more of a wider adoption that I'm kind of noticing. Um, so whereas before maybe just all focused on Windows, maybe some mobile devices as well, like the bread and butter really. Now we're kind of seeing, right, can we get Mac OS devices involved? There's more and more instances of that are popping up, saying, "Oh, actually, the tool can do this. It can do Linux as well. Can we
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah,
start to
exactly.
get all of our um, all of our estate in here, at least managed, at least
Yeah,
monitored, if not managed. So even with Google devices, there's a connector that you can get to have Chromebooks at least report in Intune. You get
yeah,
a
yeah,
limited amount
yeah,
of control over it.
yeah. So
Um,
many people wouldn't even think that that would be possible.
no,
Same
and
with
it
Linux. Like,
requires a
hats off to Microsoft
specific
for doing that.
license, but
Yeah,
of course it does. um, but yeah, it saves having to manage two separate environments completely otherwise, separate from each other. And then the more integration that you're getting between I mean, just to go off on a little tangent, like the federative access that you can put between Apple now and Microsoft and Google and Microsoft, you can really start to tie all these platforms in together using Entra as your hub, and then have these logins be used across all devices, no matter if they're Apple, Chromebook, Android, Apple, Windows. So yeah, that's the kind of trend that we're kind of seeing is more unification using Azure or Entra ID as a central kind of point of authentication, and then
Yeah,
authenticating outwards into the wider area where they would used to be very separate devices, like even with no no similar management capabilities. Some of them were just local devices.
yeah, that's a very good point actually. Good observation there.
Mm.
Um, what what would you say? No, what advice would you give to organizations starting their Intune journey? Any, from past experience?
Um, be thorough, I think is the main one.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it right the first time?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you get it wrong the first time, it becomes tricky. Once you've rolled out, say, like a half-baked solution that's kind of the bare minimum to get things in, um, it becomes so much more disruptive and so much um, more difficult the
Yeah.
longer you leave it to then go back in and retrospectively fix or upgrade or sort out all these issues that you haven't necessarily accounted for from the beginning. So, like not using autopilot, for example, not having an autopilot route set up from day one. If you're used to the old way, you're building from an image maybe and enrolling through like the accounts section in Windows, work and school account, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then
Do you want? Sorry,
sorry, go
I
on.
was going to say, as you're talking about autopilot, there, do you want to? Should we delve into autopilot a minute while we've got some time?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to take the lead on that one?
Yeah. So autopilot, I would say, is it's Microsoft's way of the modern workplace, isn't it?
Hmm.
We spoke about it earlier, but the very briefly, so I thought it'd be good to actually dive into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, as I said earlier, it's gone are the days of ordering 500 laptops or desktops, getting them in, putting them all in your build room and or your office and imaging them from scratch. The idea of autopilot is to potentially ship them straight out to end users, hook them up to an internet cable, and when it runs the out of box experience for the first time, that will download a profile from your Intune management
Mm.
and start enrolling that device, and it will guide the user through. There's lots of controls, aren't there, that we can put in place in Intune around the actual enrollment profile, and what controls are in place there, and as well as um, the ESP, so the enrollment status page. So, which is what users can see. It's very
Hmm.
historically, it was very please wait while we enroll your device, and that could potentially take, I don't know, 2 hours if people are pushing down large
Mm.
apps like the legacy Office suite and Adobe.
Hmm.
It's a wild example, but people did it. People were used to doing that, so they you know they didn't want to change too much. They're like, oh, we want to push out Adobe as well.
Yeah.
Whereas that mindset's changing slightly. It's now, I mean, a lot of the time Office is pre-installed anyway, so that doesn't need to go down. And then it's a case of what bare essential apps do we need on these devices? and the user can see what exactly is going on. And then once that might only take 15 minutes now,
Hmm.
gets the user to enroll, you log in with their 365 credentials, get them up to the desktop, Office is pre-installed, and away they go. And
Yeah.
while they're getting set up, there are other apps that can be being downloaded in the background.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, and you can
and
spread that out, right? So, like, whereas before you would be really hammering in a corporate network at maximum capacity, building
yeah,
5 to 10 whatever machines, depending on your capacity. Based on like remote working, you can send out 1,000 of these, and it doesn't make a difference.
no,
They can
exactly,
all build,
yeah,
even if they are concentrated in one place. It can, it's with things like 'cause it's going to go through all the updates and stuff like that as well, with like delivery optimization and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff in place. It just handles it itself. It's aware of
yeah. Share
the
it
the
across the
ecosystem
network.
that it's in. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if people are working from home, the likelihood is if you're working from home, you've probably got a decent internet connection, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know
You're
what
not
to
going to be working
expect.
from home on a dial-up, so you shouldn't have any issues there. Most people have got, I don't know, yeah, 50 meg or 80 meg at least,
Yeah. Yeah.
So which is more than enough.
Yeah, it's not as much of an issue today as it was 5 to 10 years
No,
ago, is it at all?
no,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And we the, to go alongside this, we've got lots of security measures that are in place. We can ensure devices have secure boot enabled. We can ensure
Hmm.
devices have that they're encrypted with BitLocker.
Yeah.
Keys are then backed up straight into Intune or Entra. Um, there's lots of security and privacy measures in place, aren't there?
Yeah, and
And and
it fits into
troubleshooting
like,
as well.
sorry, go
Sorry, go on, go on.
on. It's just had a thought then. Yeah, when you mentioned about BitLocker and the security side of it, like it fits really nicely into Microsoft Defender as well. So it has
Yeah,
that
yeah,
integration
yeah,
straight in that you can, all of the devices come with Defender on them. It's just it plugs into that enterprise model on the other end, and you get all these great reporting in one place. It's just another thing that's included in a certain amount of
yeah.
licensing. Is
With a
here's
big caveat,
mm,
as long as you configure it properly.
yeah, with any antivirus, right?
Well, yeah. Under any products, but that's quite often overlooked,
Yes, it needs as much attention as any other
and
part of the solution. Yeah.
it's quite. I wouldn't say it's confusing, but it is a little bit confusing as to what settings you need to enable to get those devices onboarded into Defender from
Yeah,
Intune.
it is. Yeah.
All my devices are in Intune. Why are they not in Defender?
Hmm. Oh, you've got to
It's
enable
not
this
a
connector. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
It's still a part, isn't it? It's not at the moment completely unified and automatic.
No,
It's a
and
step
there's
you need
reasons
to go
behind that. There's
through.
there's logic behind that. So
Well, allowing
yeah,
people to use other antivirus solutions if they want to is one as well. Like, yeah.
exactly. Yep, control of the market. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should probably do an episode on Defender, so we won't
Hmm.
go into that too much.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure we will in the near future.
100%.
Um, and it's probably about time we round it up, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, cool. So that's it for this episode of Mind the Microsoft Gap. We've covered a lot, from the strategic drivers to the technical models, real world lessons. We've covered things like autopilot and app protection policies, integration with the Defender, what the trends are looking like. So a lot to kind of digest there.
Yeah. So if you're working on an Intune rollout or thinking about modernizing your MDM strategy, hopefully we gave you some helpful insights, and reach out if you need any assistance.
Yeah, like leave a comment if this is being posted on social media or reach out over email. We'd love to know how your Intune rollout went, if you had any issues, or if you need any assistance with it, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cool. Right. Thank you, Chris. Speak to you soon.
No worries. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. And remember, mind the gap.
Need like a ding ding.
Yeah. Mind the gap.